In September 1960, Rod Serling's The Twilight Zone began its second season with a story ripped from the headlines. They called it King 9 Will Not Return. I love the episode. Bruce thinks it stinks. Which one of us is right? Find out next. Hi, I'm Brian.
I'm Bruce.
And this is Just Beneath the Surface, episode 19.
Wow.
What is
19.
this? It's an exploration of the Twilight Zone.
The Twilight Zone, Rod Serling, 1959, 1964. Brian and I love that show.
Love it. The original.
The original.
None of these remakes.
No, none of the remakes.
No.
I mean, he did Night Gallery after that, which some of the Night Galleries are okay. Yeah, they're good. Some of them good. But go ahead.
And this is episode 19, and sometimes on this show we'll take like one of our favorite episodes and we'll examine it. Other times we might do a themed episode where we talk about themes across several
like the one we
episodes.
did about love.
Love was a great one.
Yes, it was.
Love in the Twilight
I'm
Zone.
still remembering it. It's great.
If you haven't seen that, I think it's episode 16 or 17. Go back and watch it.
Yes.
We'll put a link here.
You'll fall in love.
But on this
with one of us.
On this one, we're doing another one of our point-counterpoint episodes. And this is where I take one side of a pro or con, and he takes the other side.
Right.
Now,
that's how it works. You get it? Yeah.
Point-counterpoint.
Not pro.
Now, traditionally, Bruce, I've been the one who's been the negative one, the one who's got all the criticisms about the episode, and you're the one who saves it.
Yeah, because I'm the pro. Because most of the Twilight Zones I love. I mean, I'd watch them over like 95% of other stuff on TV these days, showing that I'm not a little kid anymore.
But stop the presses. This is the episode where I take the pro position.
And I take the con position.
And that's, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this.
I can wait to hear you.
The one we're talking about the season 2 premiere, September 1960. It was called King 9 Will Not Return.
It's not returning.
And what makes this a great story is that it's ripped from the headlines.
Hold on, you just said great story.
Yes.
Have we started the pro-con thing yet?
Not yet.
Okay, well you said great though, so that's a pro.
Well, Bruce, I will. Now that we've set it up, it's 1960, September 1960, season 2 premiere. Bruce, what is the plot of this episode?
The plot of the episode is about a pilot, and it's actually based on a true story about Lady Be Good. Is that it?
The Lady Be Good, yes.
A plane crashes in the desert somewhere,
but the name of this ship is King 9.
King 9. The ship, the plane, a bomber, I think, or something like that. B-25.
Exactly. Yeah.
Crashes in the desert, and there's one survivor. And it's Bob Cummings, a good actor.
Cummings, who plays Captain James Embry.
Whew,
and this
smoking.
And this is just a few years.
Not smoking.
And this is just a few years after his series, The Bob Cummings Show, which very few people
remember that for some reason.
Good. Bob Cummings Show. His love interest on that show was played by who?
Mary Tyler Moore.
No, you're in the ballpark.
Agnes Moorehead.
You are in the ballpark, definitely.
The girl that does the Brady.
You are bingo. Ann B. Davis was Bob Cummings' wife.
I was getting there somewhere. Yes. My brain. Did you see the smoke coming out?
Yes.
Doesn't mean a pope was elected or anything. It just means
her character name was Schultze.
Schultze. He was in the desert and he's looking around. And he's like all discombobulated and doesn't know what's going on.
Like Bruce on a Friday night
or Saturday. Just come down to my basement. You'll see. And he's going around. He thinks he sees some of his crew members, and he's looking at that plane. He's kind of going wacky and screaming and doing all this stuff, and you don't know what's going on. Now, I don't know how far we want to go on that as far as at the end, but I mean, you want to go?
Yeah, this is the only negative thing I'm going to say about this episode. Believe it or not.
See, I told you he couldn't be all pro.
I can
be all con. No, I can't be all con.
As he's wandering around his plane and he's wandering around the desert, he's shouting out the names of his crew members. And
Brian.
One of the names.
Mark.
And one of the names.
Sniffles. One
of the names that he keeps shouting.
That's my cat, by the way, Sniffles.
His cat. He keeps shouting, Jimenez. And when you listen to that episode, or you watch it, and you picture these names in your head, you're thinking, J-I-M, he means Jimenez. But he's pronouncing it Jimenez. And here's the funny thing.
What?
Here's,
That's part of your
that's
not liking
actually
it?
in your book. No, I like it.
I know it's in the book.
I'm just saying it's a funny observation about
Yes,
it.
it's in this book, but
That nobody in production or post-production realized he was mispronouncing the name, because they could have looped it in post-production.
you're probably like the only person who watched. You're probably
There's
the only
no-
one who's ever seen that episode and noticed that problem.
I read it online just today. If it's on the internet, you know it's true. But I actually picked
Yes.
up on this myself when I was rewatching it last week.
You
and I
are
said, wait a minute,
correct, Brian.
Jimenez?
Okay.
But no,
Go on.
I love this episode, and continue. So he's looking for his crew members. What happens
So
next?
now that we've established that you're only part pro,
No.
the thing I don't get with it or something, and I like most Twilight Zone episodes, and I kind of like this, but the pro is like, I don't see it as a Twilight Zone type of episode, where most Twilight Zone episodes, like, you take, where's
It has
everybody?
a twist ending.
It does have a twist, but for the first 20 minutes, it's a guy, he's in a plane, he lands in the desert, so it seems more like a drama, like High Sierra, one of that James
Well,
Cagney.
you do know that
somebody was
the
in.
same story was later adapted to that movie, The Treasure of the Sierra Madre.
Right, exactly, with the crazy engineer and stuff.
Yeah.
And this is obviously based on a true story
This
as well,
one-
Lady Be Good, which actually...
So I don't think we've told our viewers that story yet. The plane crashed in 1943. This is the original one, the Lady Be Good.
Right.
It crashed in the Libyan desert.
Serling found out about.
Yeah, it was 15 years later in 1958 that the wreckage of the plane and then the crew's remains were finally found. So we're talking 1958
8 out
here.
of the 9, I think, right?
Yeah, we're
Right.
talking 1958, and the writers, producers of the Twilight Zone, they're putting the show together in the late 50s, and they see this story, and they say, this is fodder for an episode.
That's good.
And that's what gave birth to this
It's
episode.
and it's going to be a great season opener for
and-
season 2.
And that is one of the things that I love about this episode, is that it's based on a true story.
Right, and that is good. And we respect his opinion most of the time. But what I got from it was, it's not like most of the other episodes where you see, like, Where Is Everybody? Earl Holliman is walking through and there's nobody in the town. So you're going, what's the heck's going on? What's going on? Or a night call where the old lady in the bed, she's getting phone calls and you hear, and you're going, what the is going on here?
Yeah.
In this episode, King 9, I don't get that. I get, okay, this guy crashed, he's in a plane, he's down in the desert, he doesn't know what to do, he's probably dehydrated, but it's more like a drama. I'm not saying, what's the weird thing going on here? What's the Twilight Zone type of thing going on here? What's the shadows going into reality thing here? And it's not happening for me, and I watch it, but go ahead.
Before we get into your next point, one of the other things that I like about this episode is that it was filmed on location.
Oh, true.
They went out, I think you said it was in Utah somewhere. Was it?
No. It
King
was actually
Arizona.
filmed in Yuma,
Yuma, Arizona.
Arizona.
Yes.
Right.
So a lot of the Twilight Zone episodes, they're filmed on sets in a set reused over and over again,
Right,
in
right.
or whatever. Or sometimes they're filmed in black and white at a New York studio.
We'll get that
really
on
cheap.
episode 25 from us.
But this one, the budget, they went out to Arizona, they put the plane out there. By the way, the plane still exists. I read this today. It's in some warehouse
Really?
in California.
Did the original Lady Be Good, or
No, we're talking the King 9 model used
Really?
in this episode. Yeah,
Yeah, they did a great job. They
I'll
did
put
a
it
great
right here.
job making that plane or showing that plane.
Jimenez was a good pilot.
Who?
Jimenez.
How do you pronounce it?
Jimenez.
Hello, thank you. And actually, a location true, and it was actually so hot and everything else that they had a nurse on duty because people were gonna
And
pass out.
it,
But anyway,
it reminds me of The Lonely, which is another one of the episodes
Right.
that we love because that was filmed in Death Valley, and it looks like Death Valley.
and
It doesn't look
Lonely,
like Hollywood Death Valley.
right? It was like 105 degrees. But even in the Lonely, I'm going, okay, what's going on here? And then they bring the big box in, and you're going, what the heck is in the box? See, I didn't get that with King 9. Like, something happens in the first 20, 25 minutes, and I'm going, okay, something's off here. Something's like Twilight Zone. Something's going, and Serling and Houghton or the writers are trying to lead you somewhere to think, what? And I don't get that from King 9. I get a drama that, okay, he's in the desert. He's crashed. How is he going to survive? He's calling out his crew members. He's probably going wacky like this guy. And it's like, and that's part of the reason I don't.
So
I'm not crazy about that episode.
How does Serling try to bring us back to reality? What's the first indicator that something's amiss here? Because it happens when Embry is walking through the desert, He looks up into the sky.
I hate questions I don't know. Oh!
What does he
I think
see
I do
up
know
in
the answer.
sky?
That's very good.
Yeah.
He sees a jet aircraft.
Couple of them.
A couple of them.
And he says, wait a minute.
In the 1940s.
How do I know what this is? It's 1943 and that's a 1960 jet up there. What is this?
Uh-oh. Looks like my argument's kind of falling apart a little. But not yet! But yeah, he does see the jet planes up there and you go, hold it, what's going on? That happened in another episode, didn't it, where they saw planes?
Well, that's for another discussion.
Oh, no, okay.
Yeah.
So I'll give you that.
He sees something that he shouldn't be seeing in 1943.
Right, so, okay, now you know something's amiss. Something.
By the way, something we didn't say about this episode early on, is, as this is the season 2 premiere, it is the very first time that Rod Serling ever appears on film.
Like he does.
That's another thing that I love about this episode, because if you go back to the first season, all he does is little narration here in the beginning. You never see him. But it's not until this episode where he shows up on film.
Right.
Also, what else?
He comes and see him on film, but he's actually usually he's on the set.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see him in the desert, or you see him in a bar. You see him where the action is happening.
The cut at the beginning of this is done very well, because you see the actual desert of Arizona with the King 9 set, and then the camera pans over here, and it's obvious now at this point that Serling is in a soundstage back in California, but they do a pretty good job of making it look like it's still the same desert.
I mean, on that one, I can't remember exactly, but I don't think it looks that bad. I think it looks pretty good.
It's very well done,
but
actually.
I love it when he's there, and you might think for a second, well, then I know it's not real, because what's Rod Serling doing in the desert, even in Yuma?
And another great thing that this series introduces is the opening theme song that so many of us know. You know, this is the first episode that ever had that.
Can I get a stiff drink, producer? I'm starting to lose it here. If he wins this sucker, I'm gonna jump out this window. Although it's only 5 feet to the ground, I'm not gonna make it hurt. I'm not gonna make it hurt.
Because if you go back,
is that true?
The first season.
So what they have in the first season?
It was just like
nothing.
Between the pit of man's something and
between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge.
It's just a little picture of an art.
But it has music.
It does, but it's not the do 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 do. It's just a da da. And then you see the little mountain and the little stars. And
he's actually got a good singing voice too, but he's not going to show you.
No. So this episode, that's another perk of this episode. But,
that is good.
So let's get back to the jets. He looks up and he sees the jets, and what happens next? Do you remember?
He kind of questions himself about what's happening, but no, I do not know what goes. That's showing that, like in most episodes that I truly love, I kind of we can do it verbatim between each other sometimes, but on this one, I do not know what happens after the jets. X for Bruce.
Oh, okay.
A big wrong for Bruce.
Well, after he sees the jets, he walks over a hill and he sees
a crew member.
No.
A desert.
He sees
a young girl.
He sees a vision.
Okay.
He sees a vision of the crew members. They're all standing there, and he starts yelling at them, Jimenez, no! And then
all 8, 9 of them?
There's like 5 or 6 of them.
Oh, wow.
They're standing there, and then they start blinking out. They're all gone, and then he realizes all it is these crosses, and it's the remains. They've all died, and somebody has buried them in the sand, and he's stumbled across their final remains.
Wow.
Yeah.
So does he go up to the crosses and do something?
He goes up to the crosses and he starts reading off the names.
Oh, wow.
And that's when he gets down on the ground. This is the scene you have to remember. He gets down on the ground and he's on his stomach and he's grabbing at the sand, and we get a close-up of his hand, and his hand is grabbing and clutching at the sand, and we keep seeing his hand. It comes back, it cuts back, and now he's in a hospital room, and that same hand is grasping at the sheets on his bed.
Which they have done in other Twilight Zone episodes, a guy in a fog or something, like even the one Where's Everybody, the first episode, where he's pressing the button, and all of a sudden he's pressing the button and a little cube. Okay.
So we come to discover that the entirety of the episode has been a dream, or it's been in his mind, because he's really been in the hospital.
And I think it was like, supposedly, I think one of the doctors said it's like 15 years later, 17 years after the crash. And he's in the hospital, right?
Yes. Well, Captain Embry's in the hospital bed, and his doctor and his psychiatrist come in, and they tell us that he had a mental breakdown when he was walking by a newspaper stand. And he looked down and he saw this.
That is right.
Right there on the newspaper is that this plane that had been missing for 15 years
was found
in the desert.
And along with some of the remains.
Yeah, and we discover that Captain Embry was never on the flight. It was his plane and his crew, but for whatever reason, he missed the flight.
I do not remember that,
And
my friend.
somebody else had to fly.
That's why he's my partner. Every once in a while, like a squirrel gets a nut, he gets one. He got one there. They're very good.
I actually watched the episode in prep for this episode, unlike my good friend here.
Because we got a new TV and I didn't know how it worked. And
He
I'm
doesn't
not a
know
tech guy, and I press the button and get the CD and all that. Blah.
He couldn't figure out Amazon Prime either. So
Yeah, that's true. Even though I pay for it, I don't know why. But
So the psychiatrist comes in and he tells us this backstory, and we discover that he had a mental breakdown. And
he was never on the crash plane. Was he supposed to be on the crash plane?
yes, he was supposed to be on it.
Did they explain why he wasn't?
I think they did, but it was probably something like he had the flu or something irrelevant.
Okay, so he's feeling guilty.
And for 15 years he had been carrying guilt around inside of him.
Right.
And the psychiatrist theorizes that seeing this newspaper headline, seeing that the case has finally been resolved,
Brings it all back.
And it brings it all back to him with a vengeance, and he has the breakdown. He's in the hospital.
Right, I get that. And there's like even the new movies, the Final Destination. A lot of that is based on that people feel guilt for surviving something they should not have survived.
I feel guilt for agreeing to do this episode.
And I feel guilt for listening to him for 30 minutes, or 20 minutes, or 15, whatever it is. Although, you know how like sometimes you get pain and pleasure, and they're so closely related that you like a little pain? Take my word on it. I've lost you, I know.
That's all right.
Okay.
You can
He's in the hospital.
He's in the hospital. And so we think the story's over, but is it? Is there one last twist for us, Bruce?
There's one twist for you, which is at the very end. And the nurse comes in, and they're getting he's in a hospital garb, so they always took his shirt and his trousers and his shoes and all that kind of crap. Okay. And they're going to move it somewhere. Mm-hmm. So the nurse goes over, and the doctor's, I forget who, the nurse or doctor, she picks up the shoes and she picks them up. And what comes out of the shoe?
Sand.
Sand from the desert where the plane was.
Exactly.
And you go, why would that be? Can there be sand in this hospital going down to the bathroom? Yeah, of course not. But of course the sand is supposedly from the desert. And was he really there? And I'll give it to that on that issue that
it is a Twilight Zone episode.
It is a Twilight Zone. Shadows to reality.
You don't know if he was actually there or if it was all in his head.
What I sometimes try to do, would there be a logical reason why the sand is there? I can't think of one.
No.
And so you go, okay, there's not a logical. So was he and I like this because I try to study dreams, and I think you can control things if you can control your dreams. And not to get off on the subject, go to your dreams and try to look at your hand. You can never do it. I did it once. You can never do it. If you do that, you start controlling the dream. But anyway, do you think he was in a dream, or do you think he actually was in the desert? Because you love this episode so much. What do you think?
My personal opinion is that the newspaper stand where he got the newspaper
had sand.
Was on the beach in San Diego, California. Yes.
Come on. What do you really think?
I think he was there. I do think he was there, yes. That explains the sand. That's what they want us to believe. That's why they put the sand in the shoe in the first place.
Which is a good Twilight Zone ending. I give it that.
And I do want to say one thing about one of the actors here in the hospital. The psychiatrist is played by an actor named Gene Lyons. He's got one of those.
Sounds familiar.
He's got one of those faces you've probably seen. Probably most famous for an episode of the original Star Trek. But the reason I bring Gene Lyons, yes. The reason I bring...
Oh, he plays the other captain that's gone crazy?
No, I'll tell you later.
We don't want, okay.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
The reason I bring him up is because I've been to his grave. He's buried in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
What was his name again?
Gene Lyons.
Go to his 6 Feet Under blog.
Yes.
It's great.
6 Feet Under Hollywood. He's buried in Calvary Cemetery, which is the same cemetery where Frank Gorshin is buried, the Riddler. And he's got a very cool headstone.
Frank Gorshin was in Invasion of the Saucermen, by the way.
Yes.
He was. He goes to a lot of graves because he likes to see his future home.
Yes.
So future home for everybody.
So that is another reason I like this episode, is because I have visited the final resting place of one of the actors from this show.
And I'll say,
wraps it all up.
Right. And when I get to the end, I go, that's a good ending, because it makes me think too. And I like fantasy or weird things of paranormal or, Bigfoot and all sort of stuff. And so I want to believe that he was actually there. But it makes me think, it makes you think, why would the sand be there? I like Twilight Zone. A lot of them are like that. It's not explained.
Right.
It's not. In some of the Twilight Zones, it is explained what actually happened, which is weird anyway. But I like it. To that point. But for the most part, first 20 minutes, It's just a drama to me. It's like, okay, I got it, except for the jet planes.
And now that we've given you our opinion, we want to hear what you have to say about this.
Up or down?
So we have the comment section right here. We want you to comment on this episode. Tell us what you think. Is King 9 a good episode like I think, or does it suck like Bruce thinks?
Yeah, he doesn't get up there, especially when they put it as the opener for season 2. You know, this is when you come out and bang, do September 1960.
Yeah.
You figure you come, and
So
Serling did say, I'll give you this. Serling and Houghton did believe this was a very good episode.
Yes. So
That
now
it was a, you know.
we want you to comment on it. We want you to like this episode. We want you to subscribe to our channel.
Our episode.
And you want to click the notification bell so you'll know when future episodes of Just Beneath the Surface are going to air.
You can't wait, I know. It's hard to wait, but we'll get to it very soon.
So did I convert you, Bruce? Do you like this episode now?
I like it better than most of the 95% of stuff that's on TV today, but I still say it didn't hit me until the last ending. The jet planes I probably missed a little, but I just thought it's one of my greatest ones. No.
Okay, so
It's
this
down here.
so-
You didn't convince me.
So during the New Year's Eve marathon, this is not going to be on at 8 o'clock. It'll be on at 3 o'clock in the morning, right?
Right, exactly. If I know an episode's going to be on, I'll actually get up and watch it.
Okay.
But even though I have them on CD,
Yeah.
but if it's King 9, I'm going, okay, I can go out and work in the yard for
I
a second.
see. All right.
That type of episode.
All right, well, on that note, I think we'll wrap up
Yeah,
this
we have
episode of
to.
Just Beneath the Surface because it's dinner time. So once again, I want to thank you for coming.
Thank
I'm
you very
Brian,
much. From the bottom of my heart, from Bruce.
And you're Bruce, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.